sculpted entirely of the most exquisite Carrara marble from Firenze, Italia. Each joint containing a single pearl.
Are you stoned or something?
They tried stoning me, my dear. It did not work. When did they start allowing women of the night on estate grounds?
Carolyn.
Ah, yes. Uncanny, is it not? Worth every hour I spent posing. Forgive me. My name is Barnabas Collins.
Children! Get away from that man.
He says his name is Barnabas Collins.
And I'm pretty sure he called me a hooker.
That'll do, Carolyn.
A word, please.
Hi, I'm Dave Bjorkgren, Managing Editor of the News of Delaware County.
And I'm Arthur Ryan, Special Entertainment Correspondent to the News. And that was a scene from Dark Shadows, which opened this past weekend in movie theaters nationwide. This was a film that when it was announced I was really excited about because of Johnny Depp, the film's star and producer, and his collaboration with Tim Burton. For they made a really wonderful gothic horror film a few years ago, Sweeney Todd, and I had a feeling, being a fan of the original Dark Shadow series, that that's what they had in mind. When the trailer was released for the film, and it was clear that this was going to be a comedy, very much in the vein of the Brady Bunch movie a few years ago, back in 1995, I started to worry. But when we went to see the film this past weekend, at first I was pleasantly surprised. Didn't think the comedy was really detracting from the gothicness of the film at first. But as it progressed, my fears were, of course, realized.
At first I thought it was going to be a sort of a tongue-in-cheek tribute to the soap opera.
Sure.
And I thought they sort of did that with the film. They were really stressing the soap opera aspects of it, you know, the melodrama. Everyone's a little over the top, and you know, and I appreciate that, and that kind of worked with the humor. But then it sort of disintegrated.
Yeah, just progressively got worse, and I just thought, for me, I was enjoying all of the little homages to the original series, and I thought the humor at first was appropriate with the weirdness of the family in the 1970s. But when it got to the point where there's that big love-making scene that's real over the top and ridiculously acrobatic,
and no reason for it,
no reason for it, between Barnabas and Angelique, who is the witch from the prologue, who back in the 18th century curses Barnabas, and then of course imprisons him in a tomb for 200 years, where he comes forward to 1972 and is awakened, but then Barnabas finds in 1972 that Angelique is still around, and is very much the curse on the Collins family. All of that, you know, is really a backstory that comes from the original soap opera, and I was enjoying all that, and was thinking that the comedy wasn't taking away from it until that scene, and from that scene on, it just seemed to get progressively more and more ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like they kind of lost their original intent with the film.
But I thought with Angelique especially, in the original series, Angelique the Witch was really frightening. And I don't know if it was just because I was an 11-year-old kid, but in this movie the threat is removed by her being so jokey.
And she's more of a sex kitten than this thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then by the big climax of the film, which we won't give away, you know, you're expecting you to be fearful of this woman, and you're just still sort of laughing at the whole thing. And it doesn't have, you know, it's lost all its horror, all its gothic, all its terror by the film's end.
And another problem, I think, is the every once in a while he would throw in a scene that was serious, and you know, you cared a little bit about the characters, and then he would just move on. Some characters disappeared from the film for 15 minutes at a time, and then you sort of lose the thread a little bit. So.
And I think that was the fault of that, was that, you know, Dan Curtis, who produced the original soap opera, had 6 years and 5 days a week to tell his story.
Right.
You know,
so we're trying to compress too much
into 2 hours. He should have maybe cut some of those, you know, extraneous characters out. That wasn't necessary to keep them in the film. I mean, he was probably doing it to be, you know, faithful to the original, but again, in a 2-hour movie, that's really hard to do.
Right.
So.
Now, I was not a follower of Dark Shadows when it originally aired, so I didn't really know too much about it going in. So, as a film itself, I did enjoy what it was trying to do, but as we said before, I thought it strayed too far from, what it could have been, which is just a nice throwback to a Gothic soap opera, with supernatural overtones.
There you go.
Yeah. And be sure to read our full reviews in the News of Delaware County or go to our website at Delco News Network.